Is Friday. You know what that means. It's our sort of talk day. And I'm not wearing makeup. So I'm sorry. And this appeared out of nowhere. FML. I thought, like, when I turned the age of 21, that all of a sudden, magically, there would be no acne. I just had spaghetti. Okay, but I found out from my friends who are quite a bit older than me, my elders, that acne is still possible even at 60. And I'm like, so it doesn't end at just like your 20s and teens. You have to suffer with it for when you get wrinkles as well? That's not right. Okay. Anyway, and my subject right now is going to be something most people can relate to that have a chronic illness, whether it is a mental illness or, seeing a counselor. So it might have to do with like people with mental illness or people that are going through a hard time. Or this could just help you go see your doctor and talk about your diabetes. But this is mainly my opinions on like seeing your case manager, counselor, therapist, and how do you talk to them, how not to talk to them, and what to do if you're in a situation you don't want to be in, or some positive things that have happened between case manager and counselors and things like that, because they're not always negative. Sometimes you have a counselor that's God sent, or a case manager that really cares about their work. They found out case managers don't get paid that much. They do it because a lot of people do it because heart out of the heart. I mean, I think, I might, as soon as I get all this college GED stuff out, I have thought about going into casework and become a case manager, because it's something I want to do. I want to help people. Obviously, if I wanted the money, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't choose that. I'd scratch off lottery tickets, but that's a whole nother story. This is how you deal with your case manager or counselor or therapist. First, pity, rude. First, be honest and tell the truth, because they're not gonna know. And tell them what your problems are, your symptoms, what's going on in your life, because they're not going to know what's wrong unless they tell you. And if you're afraid, they might tell somebody else. That's against the law. They're breaking confidentiality. I was worried that they may tell other people, and then they can't tell other people. They just have to keep it to themselves, confidentiality. So be honest. Tell them, about your symptoms, what's going on in your life that's making you anxious, setting off your mental illness, and things like that. Second of all, keep a sense of humor. Everybody likes somebody who, make jokes. I mean, be a little sarcastic. I mean, lighten up the mood. You don't have to be, it's always fun to do that with your counselor. And, if you're in the mood for that, because I don't always go to the case manager or counselor, whatever, crying. So if you're in that mood of lightness, go ahead and make some jokes and being sarcastic. Number 3, If you're not in that mood and you're crying your eyes out and you're just really angry, don't apologize for being that way. They understand it's their job working with people that have problems, and everyone feels angry, not just mentally ill people. Everyone cries, not just depressed, mentally ill people. Everyone. So don't be afraid to cry. Don't apologize. I mean, everyone sees a case manager, counselor for different reasons. You could be going through a lot. You could be going through a loss of a family member. I don't know what you're going through, but tears are okay, and crying and being angry is okay. It's not okay to be violent towards anyone, and so that's where you cross the line. And also, it's not okay to be violent or to be mean or to be abusive towards yourself in this situation, because it's just as bad as being abusive towards people other than you, like your counselor and case manager, and it just doesn't work. But this is from experience. I've done it before. It's just not really cool. But yeah, it's kind of awkward, like first getting into talking to a case manager, and sometimes they don't work. They don't understand you. You don't agree on certain issues that are big. You might have different points in your life where it just doesn't work, or they might not be the best work for you. They might be good for some other people, but not for you. Or they could be in the wrong field. Anyway, it's not being mean if you have to switch case manager, counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, whatever. It's not bad to want a new one and fire your old to get a new one. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means you aren't compatible for each other, and they might be for other people, but not you. And don't feel bad. Don't feel like, oh, I'm such an asshole, I had to get rid of my counselor because it wasn't working out. Also, accept the truth. Sometimes your counselor and case manager or the person you're working with may not tell you something you want to hear that you need to do. My ed ingrained in me that, that sometimes you need to work on something that you don't want to hear about because it might make you mad, like losing weight or behaving in a certain way and behaving a different way. And take it with a grain of salt. If you need to lose weight, it's not that they're being offensive. It's because it's their job to do that. And just take it with a grain of salt. If you need to work on it, find time to work on it. And hey, maybe it might be a good thing if you feel like it's not gonna work. Just take it with a grain of salt. Don't get offended. Don't whine, because whining doesn't get you anywhere. But counselors will tell you will be honest about things you might not want to hear. Just remember that just to take it with a grain of salt. And maybe you do need to work on it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm not in the situation. And if you feel like you're being abused by a counselor or a case manager, like if they're taking advantage of you or are being just plain rude to you, or seem to be like say mean things and are abusive verbally and stuff like that. Rare occasions there could be sexually assault, abusive. It happens. Don't be afraid to report them. If they're being abusive and not doing their job right and hurting your feelings, like making fun of you, that's not their job. Then report it. Because they can be doing it to all their other clients, and you just gotta do what's right for you, and if it's gonna help other people. Because it's not nice to have a counselor or case manager make fun of you and call you names and abuse you in any form. If you're being sexually abused, rarely happens, but if it does happen, report them immediately. That's what you do, call the police on them. I've never been there, but I heard it just in case. So, having to see a counselor or case manager or psychiatrist or, just somebody who works with mental illness might seem awkward, but it's a step in making your life better, normal, and you don't have to tell everybody that you have to see a counselor, case manager, or whatever. It's none of their business. And if you want to tell them, and they give you crap about it, remember, you're getting better. You're not, it's better to get, help for your mental illness and have that stigma than for you not to get help, which a lot of people do because they think they'll get the stigma, and they're not getting better. They're acting weirder. You're doing a strong, good thing for your mental health and the health of others. My stepmom says that the people who get help are the healthier people. People who get help are the more healthy people because they want to get better. And I think that's one of the smartest things my stepmother has ever said about mental illness. That the people who go and get help, go to counselors, get medicine and stuff like that, they want to get better. And the people who ignore it and don't want the stigma, they don't get better, they just stay sick. It's just, having schizophrenia, bipolar depression, is like having arthritis, or heart problems, asthma. You just gotta, live with it, and you can be normal. You can have, different type of jobs. You can be a teacher and have unemployed, doctor, and all kinds of jobs, actors, actress, basically every kind of job, and still have a mental illness. There are more mentally ill people in the world than you think. You're not alone. You're not the only one with bipolar. Trust me, there are a lot of people with bipolar, schizophrenia, OCD, depression, all kinds of diagnoses. They just don't tell you. And there are bonuses to having mental illness. You can look it up online, and whenever you're fighting your depression, think you're not alone. You're never alone because there's always somebody like you. And getting to go see a counselor and case manager or whatever, think of it as a privilege. Don't think of it as, oh, I have to go see it. Because there are a lot of people who are to go to their counselor begrudgingly, and that's not the attitude to have. So this is kind of like one of my serious soda talks. But heck, I thought it was needed because, like, I want to help people, and I know plenty of people on YouTube have mental illness, and I want to help them. I want to help them out. So, subscribe and tell me your opinion. Okay.